This is IGN. A stealth game that nails its style but can't break free of its bugs. This is your IGN review of The Stone of Madness by Eric Van Allen. The stony halls and ancient walls of an old monastery are fertile ground for all kinds of horror and intrigue. The Stone of Madness is certainly filled with both, painting an eye-catching portrait of secrets and skullduggery as you sneak around, searching for an escape. As the days and nights drag on, though, the cracks in its facade show, and the initially intriguing tactical stealth falls prey to too many technical issues. The Stone of Madness comes from developers TechHoo Studios and The Game Kitchen, the latter of which is best known for Blasphemous, a series of action games similarly laden with religious imagery. There are still overt religious themes and visuals here, but instead of striking down giant bosses, the Stone of Madness is all about quietly finding a way out of the 18th century Spanish monastery that acts as your jail. 5 prisoners make up the core of your party, hoping to escape after a brutal encounter that binds them all together. The halls are patrolled by guards, priests, nuns, and soldiers, but the motley crew of would-be escapees have plenty of ways to get around them. It's a really compelling mood to set, heightened by the interesting characters that make up this team. The holy man Alfredo, for instance, can put on priest's robes and blend in with the clergy. Old Lady Agnes has witchcraft up her sleeves, casting curses on unsuspecting guards. Eduardo, the silent giant, moves boxes and breaks down walls, while the tiny Amelia can sneak through tunnels, lay down mousetraps, and pick pockets. Leonora was my go-to for most days. She can climb walls, pick locks, and drop ropes, opening up new routes for characters in the process. She can also knock out guards or even kill them, though she will harm herself out of remorse in the process. Frustratingly, things can fall apart, and not always because of your own mistakes. Across the roughly 25 hours it took me to finish the Stone of Madness's 2 separate campaigns, I ran into a ton of different issues, bugs, and glitches. A guard got stuck on a random piece of geometry. A character disappeared out of bounds while moving through a tunnel. A cutscene would pop Alfredo out of his priest robes in the middle of a populated area. And in one case, opening a chest with Eduardo caused him to zip through the ceiling and onto the roof, in front of a waiting patrolman. The actual stories told throughout both campaigns serve their purposes well enough. Several well-animated cutscenes make the high points resonate, but it's mostly told through text-only dialogue windows otherwise. The named characters are certainly memorable, like Tia del Nido, the egg-collecting elderly woman who gathers gossip, or the merchant Panecillo, who wears a loaf of bread for a hat. I wish some objectives were a little more overt about where to go next, but the intrigue compelled me enough to keep checking and rechecking old haunts to track it all down, and the tips and hints are extremely generous if you want them. The Stone of Madness has some excellent art and great moments of sneaking around, but what should have been a fairly replayable and interesting prison break ends up buckling under the weight of its technical problems. Progress-halting bugs, graphical issues, and finicky controls all turn otherwise engaging sneaking missions into frustrating excursions. With some extra tuning, the Stone of Madness could be a refreshing take on tactical stealth. As is, there are too many obstacles getting in the way of what's good here. The Stone of Madness's IGN score? 6 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest updates on the Stone of Madness, visit us at IGN.com.
SpokenLayer.